All right, boys and girls, I think we're ready to take this a step further with our takeaway number line method. We have already reviewed how we can do the takeaway method using jumps of just jumps by 1. Okay, we did this in the beginning with an example like 18 minus 3. Then we learned how we can take bigger jumps or do bigger takeaways by subtracting by tens. Next, we learned how to subtract by tens from a number that did not end in 0. And we were able to learn how to count backwards by tens from those numbers. What we're going to find, though, boys and girls, is that not all numbers that we subtract from, that we take away, I should say, are going to end in 0. Everything's not going to be that pretty. So look at this example here. We have 80 minus 32. So we've got to think about what we would do to go ahead and use the number line method with this number. 32 isn't a single digit number like we did in the first example, so we can't just do single jumps. 32 obviously doesn't end in 0, so we can't just do jumps of 10. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to do both. Now don't get scared because I know that you can do this. So let's try to take a look at this one step at a time. So if we look at 80 minus 32 here, just like with every other time that we've tried this with the takeaway method, we write down our biggest number, which is 80. Then we take a look at this 32 and think about what it's made of. It's not just a single digit, so we have to look at both digits. So right here we have a 3, and what place is the 3 in? It's in the tens place, so we have 3 tens. And I'm just going to write that up here. Then we also have 2 ones. So when we do our jumps, we're going to jump or take away by tens, and we're going to take away by ones.
Please come to the front office. Sheriff Carwriter. Cameron Reed, please come to the front office. Sheriff Carwriter.
So if we go backwards, I'm going to start taking away by tens first because tens are easier to subtract than ones. Okay, so let's go back 3 tens. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to write how many that is up at the top here. 10, 10, 10. And if we added that up, 3 tens, that would be 30. 10, 20, 30. So right here we have taken away 30 once we get to this point here. So now let's count backwards. 70, 60, 50. So we've taken care of the tens, so I'm going to cross that out. Now we're ready for the ones. And remember, when we count backwards by ones, we're doing it 1 digit at a time. 1 digit at a time. So we're going to go back, how many? 2. 1, 2. And I'm going to notate that at the top, minus 1 here, so I don't forget, minus 1 here. So 1 less than 50 is 49, and 1 less than 49 is 48. And now I have my answer to this problem. 80 minus 32 equals 48. And I've used my 1 so I can cross it out. So when we have to take away a number that does not have just 1 digit and that does not end in 0, we will have to use both methods, the tens and the ones method. And it's easier to start by subtracting with the tens first. Let's try one more of these together. So we have 30 minus 17. We notice the number that we are taking away isn't just one digit or a single digit, it's two digits. And we also notice that there isn't a 0 in the ones place. So we know that we're going to have to use a combination of tens and ones. So let's look at the 17 here. We have how many tens? Right, 1, 10. So I'm going to write that at the top. And you'll do the same when you're doing your own problem. And then I have how many ones? Correct, 7 ones. And I need to make sure that on my number line I start with the bigger number, which is 30. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to go down, way down here. 30. And the first thing I need to do is jump back by my tens, or take away by tens because that's easier. So I'm going to take away 110. And I'm going to put minus 10 so I don't forget what I'm using because I know I'm going to have to use tens and ones. So 30, count backwards, would be 20. Now I'm ready. I can cross off my tens. Now I'm ready for my 7 ones. So I'm going to make 7 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I count backwards by ones. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, and 13. So now I have my answer to 30 minus 17. It is 13. Now I think you're ready to go ahead and try a few on your own. So what I would like for you to do is to go ahead and press pause and write these 3 numbers down in your notebook and solve them using the takeaway number line method. If you need to go back to the problems that I already showed you, you can just do that by going backwards on the video and rewinding a little bit on the video. And when you're finished solving them, press play and you will be able to check your answers. So go ahead and press pause and write down these problems and go ahead and solve them, and then press play when you're finished. All right, let's see how you did. So we have 60 minus 28. We're going to write down our biggest number, 60. We know that 28 is 2 tens. We can put a T if we want for tens, and then 8 ones. And then we're going to, I might write that out though because I don't want you to think that it's 80. So first we're going to jump back by tens, 2 tens, 1, 2. We're going to write 10 up here so we know what we're going backwards by. And we know 60, 50, 40. Now we're ready to take away our 8 ones. So here we go with our jumps of 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to write it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm ready to count backwards. 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. So my answer to 60 minus 28 is 32. I hope you got that as well. All right, taking a look at the next one, 90 minus 13. I write down my bigger number. I write down my tens and my ones. 1, 10, 3 1s. Goodness. And then I go backwards. So I'm going to go by my 10s first because they're easiest. I'm going to write 10 up here. 110 less than 90 is 80. Then I'm going to do my 3 1s. 1, 2, 3. Put 1s above them so I know what I'm taking away. And I count backwards. 79. 78. 77. So my answer to 90 minus 13 is 77. Okay, looking at our last problem here, 40 minus 34. We write down our bigger number, which is 40. We have 3 10s and 4 1s. So first we're going to jump backwards by our 3 10s. 1, 2, 3, writing our 10s above it. Then counting backwards by 10s. And then we can cross off our 3 10s. Now we have to count backwards by our 4 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. I write it above 1, 1, 1, 1. And then I count backwards. 9, 8, 7, 6. So I have my answer to 40 minus 34 equals 6. Alright, boys and girls, that's it for today. Tomorrow, I think that maybe we'll try to move on to some bigger numbers. Thank you.